I never knew that I was bougie until I don't know what year it was, sometime in the mid 80s. I went had this little boyfriend, right? And so we go on this double date with a friend of his. And there was a restaurant at that time in San Francisco owned by one of the 49ers, I think he was, or ex Golden State Warrior or something. I mean, some kind of sports figure. Anyway, his name was Nate Thurman. And it was a soul food restaurant in the outer trendy, what's now the trendy outer Fillmore area. So we go to this restaurant, right, and ordered gumbo. And that's kind of a difficult thing to eat when you're on a date. You got to crack the shells and dig all the meat out the legs and this whole thing. But we managed to do it. The killer was though that the girl who was with this guy, after she ate her gumbo, now we're in this very nice restaurant. It was very nice, how he had it decorated and everything. She puts her elbow up on the table, takes her pinky fingernail and proceeds to pick in her teeth and suck the bits of the crab meat out. I had never seen no shit like that in my life. And that was when I figured out that I was bougie because everybody, in my family and all our associates there use toothpicks or they use dental floss. So I had never seen anybody put their nasty fingernail in between their teeth and dig, dried up food particles out and then suck them and swallow them. I was disgusted beyond belief. The guy who was on a double date, he was just looking at the girl in astonishment. They never went out again because he was very more bougie than me. So, it was the kind of thing that, my life was filled with people. We had music lessons and dance lessons, and we went to camp for the summer, and we were in Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, and, debutante balls and stuff. We did stuff like that when I was growing up. Now, even though my father wasn't very educated, he tried really hard to provide us with a middle class living experience. We had our own house, each of us had our own bedroom, and we had a 10-room, 2-story house. It was huge. And, so I was never used to living in a cramped space. We didn't pay rent to anybody. We had a backyard. My mom always had a nice car. I mean, I didn't realize that everybody didn't live like that until I got a little bit older. But in this situation, it kind of woke me up to the fact that my mother had put me into classes where I had to learn, what did they used to call those? I can't think of the name of it right now. But anyway, they basically teach you how to do formal place settings, how to host parties, how to do invitations, how to dress appropriately for different occasions, all this kind of stuff that she told me. You're going to need to know these things because as you move forward in life, your social circle is going to change, and you're going to need to know how to conduct yourself no matter where you are. So I was ever so grateful as I became older and got into corporate America that I knew how to do these things, and I was able to show other young black women how to do these things because it's not something that parents really think about. They think about their kids being successful. They think about their kids getting a scholarship. They think about their kids getting out of the hood. But there's a lot more to it than that. Just because your child goes to Harvard doesn't mean that your child is going to really have the Harvard experience because your child doesn't know anyone. Your child doesn't know how to play golf. Your child doesn't know how to play tennis. Your child doesn't have a summer home in the Hamptons. And these are the kind of things that people that move in those social circles have and do for leisure. I did know how I took tennis lessons. I took golf lessons. I had my own clubs. So this is the kind of thing where, I was able to move in those circles very comfortably because I had, that knowledge and experience, as well as go and hang out at the park in the hood and do all the latest dances and do, everything else because I also had that. That was my home. And it causes a lot of I don't know, it kind of causes a split, I think, if people don't really understand that. You're not changing anything about yourself. When you learned how to do those kinds of things, you're not changing yourself. You're not becoming a sellout. You still black. But what you are is empowered. What you have now are the tools for success. It's no more different than being a carpenter and having your own toolbox with fresh saws and nails and a hammer. That's all it is. But what you have is the knowledge to get into situations where you can participate in outside the office business experiences, because a lot of that's where these deals are struck. That's where people are hired. That's where referrals are made. That's where friends, lobby for their other friends' sons to get jobs and stuff like that. Black people are traditionally left out of that kind of negotiation because we don't have those kinds of contacts. And I'm saying the only way that you're going to get them, if that's not what you want, you have to be able to move in their circle just as well as they do. Now, so let's start though with table manners, because this is a big one. If you, as a parent, do not spend the time teaching your children how to eat appropriately, you're going to put them in a really bad situation really early. Let me tell you about this woman. I dated her son, right? And they was like the Jack and Jill set, this real, just ridiculous. So I go to their house. The son invites me over for dinner. And the mama had set up, they had a formal dining room. It was really nice, great view of San Francisco, all up on this hill and everything. And so I go in there and she sits down. We sit down, we're having this dinner. And her kids busted her out though. They were like, "What's all these knives and forks and stuff on the table? What are you doing?" But see, what she had done was put all that out because she knew that, my parents weren't like rich and stuff like her, like her and her husband. They were, pretty well off, but nothing on their level. And she was trying to see if I was like this little hood rat girl that didn't know anything, right? Please. I showed her kids a thing or two. And so after that, she accepted me. But it's the kind of thing I think that if parents, at least if you're not going to teach them all that stuff, because unless you're really going to some super formal event, the likelihood of you needing to know proper placement for 4 forks and dessert utensils and wine and water glasses, you don't really need to know all that. But what you do need to know is how to conduct yourself at the table. Unfortunately, a lot of parents aren't teaching that to their children anymore. Everybody eats in front of the TV, hunched over a plate in their lap, or out of a box or out of a bag, and families aren't really sitting down at the table anymore to learn proper etiquette. So you have these guys coming to take your daughters out, and they don't even know that they're supposed to come to the house and escort her to the car. They sit in the driveway and honk the horn. And the girl, being stupid, she just gonna run out the door. No. He's supposed to come to the door and get you. He's supposed to introduce his black ass to your parent. If one, both, whatever, whoever's there, he's supposed to introduce himself, first and last name, tell them a little bit about himself, and tell them when he's gonna bring their daughter home. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what you do. That's common courtesy when you have you're escorting someone's child someplace away from where they can protect them. You have to make it known that you are a trustworthy individual. Then you get on the date, right? So you go in the little thing, you sit down. A lot of guys don't know that, to how to pull out a woman's chair, how to help her off and on with her coat. They don't know how to do those things. They don't even know how to open doors for women first. Don't know how to help the woman in and out the car, nothing. Okay, so then you get to the place and you're about to start eating. What is the first thing that you should do? You would sit down and then excuse yourself and go wash your hands. Now, in some restaurants, they'll give you like this lemon, scented towel that's nice and hot and steamed, to clean your hands. Then you don't have to get up and wash it. But if you're going to be having bread or doing anything where you need to touch the food, you should always wash your hands before you start eating. You don't want any kind of bacteria transfer from the exterior to your food and then therefore into your body. Then you have to start with the ordering process. How are you going to do that? Now, some modern days, the woman orders what she wants, the man orders what she wants. Traditionally, the woman would tell the man what she wants, and then he would be the one who's interacting with the waiter. That's not really such a big deal. What is a big deal is what you do when the food comes. I have to tell you about this guy that I dated in college. Oh my God. That's when I was young and stupid. And we went out to eat. And, I mean, I had been to different little things with him, like to have coffee or stuff like that, like lightweight stuff. We were college students, we didn't have no money. So finally he had got some money, so he's going to take me out to dinner. So we went to the little seafood restaurant and stuff near Houston. And we go and sit down at the table. And this boy starts, when the food comes, this boy starts eating. I have never in my life seen anybody eat like that. He shoveled the food into his mouth like he was trying to run away. Then he chewed with his mouth wide open. I mean, you could see the food, his teeth, his tongue, and I'm sitting there like across the table from him, astonished, just like, this can't be happening. He was chewing so loud that people from the other tables were looking over, like, to see what that sound was. I was so embarrassed. I can't even tell you. I mean, just thinking about it right now makes me feel like my face is getting flushed. It was so freaking embarrassing. And then plus, we was the only black folks up in there. And that just made it worse. And he was just oblivious to the whole thing, just chomping, smacking, slurping his lemonade, and it was just nasty, just ridiculous. Then we had these shrimp, right? For the appetizer. I forgot this part. We had the shrimp, and it's, they come with the shell, like in the, on the plate, like they have like boiled shrimp down there, it's seasoned and all that stuff. So you have to peel it before you eat it. Okay, that's the way I was eating it. That's the way I assumed you were supposed to eat it. Who eats shrimp shells with them little wiggly leg things sticking on it? That's just nasty. Please. This boy grabbed that shrimp and shoved that whole thing in his mouth and was eating all the shell and the meat and everything. And it was making this loud, crunchy sound. Oh my God, I'm so disgusted. I just couldn't tell you how grossed out I was. So, and he was calling them scrimp. And it was just too much. I never went out with him again. And I couldn't even really bring myself to tell him why. But it was like, I cannot be seen in public with somebody that eats like Lassie. And I just was, Lassie probably has better table manners than this dude had. I just couldn't do it. I just could not do it. And I just have this real thing about people chewing with their mouth open. I hate it when people put their elbows on the table. I hate it when people, be on their phone while they're supposed to be eating with you, and talking to you. They all on their phone. That's extremely rude. And it shows, you have no table manners. You have people who, they want to, well, I already said that, chew with their mouth open and, have food all in their mouth. But then they start burping, right? They'll burp or whatever. Can you cover your mouth? That is just nasty. Well, you sit up there just, I mean, I know in some cultures that's, considered like a compliment that the food was good or whatever. But we talking about in the USA. Ain't nobody burping and thinking that that's, a polite thing to do. Same thing if you have to cough or sneeze, blow your nose or something. You can either get up and go to the bathroom or do it. Or, discreetly turn to the side. You pull out your handkerchief, handle your business, and then, turn back to the table. One gross thing I saw was a dude, he had his dinner napkin, right? Why did he pick it up from his lap and blow his nose on it and then put it back in his lap? Oh my God, I was so grossed out. Another time I went and this guy had a napkin. He never used it the whole meal. It just sat on the side of his plate, right? We went to this, unfortunately for him, that was our first and last date too. We went to this Mexican restaurant and he left the napkin on the table, had his elbows off on the table. So, I'm not saying anything because I don't be saying anything to grown men, but I watch everything. And then we had, how they put the cheese on the top of the enchiladas and stuff. Well, he had like a strip of that cheese melting, right? The melty cheese, it was hanging from his lip and it was just hanging there. So as he was talking, it was like flying back and forth. And I kept looking at this white cheese flipping around on his lip. And I just started laughing. And he thought I was laughing at what he was talking about, but I was laughing at that cheese flipping around on his face and why he couldn't feel it. And if he had used his napkin one time, he would have wiped it off. Oh my God, it was so nasty. So, people need to really think. Oh, and another thing is when you go to buffets, which I hate buffets because I never eat more than one serving, so it's just a waste of money. But I hate it when people go to a buffet and then make this like mountain on their plate and then they bring it back to the table, right? And then you sit there and look at them like work their way through Mount Everest that's on their plate. It's like, they have like 9 million more plates up there. All you got to do is get some, then put that plate to the side and go get a fresh plate and get some more. You don't have to try to get half the buffet at one serving and just look like a greedy pig. I hate that shit. Oh my God, I hate it so much. I also hate it when guys don't have enough sense to know, okay, you take a lady out to dinner, right? The food comes. What you're supposed to do is wait until she picks up her fork and takes a bite of her food, then you start biting yours. The same thing as if you're at a big family dinner. You don't start eating until everyone is served. Your ass ain't gonna starve if you wait another 2 minutes till everybody gets their plate. I mean, really, nobody taught you guys this. I mean, that's the whole point. These are the kind of things I think that are being lost in our current society because people don't really communicate. I mean, everybody's texting and talking, on social media and this and that, but the interactions, the personal interactions that we used to have for families and gatherings and parties and things of that nature are kind of falling by the wayside. And this whole meal sharing of the meal experience can be a very bonding experience for people. Sharing conversation and laughs and bits and pieces of your life over a delicious meal is a way that we used to bond with our friends and with our families. That's kind of being lost in the shuffle. But these are just a few of the things that I think could be an impediment to proper, okay, let me just rephrase that. Okay, if you are a person who has been raised up with proper table manners and you get around someone who doesn't have any, it's going to be a real impediment to the relationship. So I suggest, there's nothing wrong with having good table manners. You can take them everywhere you go. It's not knowledge that you use. It doesn't cost you anything to read a book about how to do it. They probably have websites that'll tell you how to do it at this point. And, you can get the fine talents and fine nuances of how to dine out, how to take a woman out if you're the woman being taken out, how to handle yourself and allow the gentleman to treat you as a lady during the course of the evening. These are things that you need to teach your children. Things that if you don't know, you need to know yourself. And they say this stuff, you can get a nigga out the hood, but you can't get the hood out the nigger. This is what they're talking about. You're going to constantly be putting yourself in a situation where you look stupid because you don't know how to do the basic things, even something as simple as how to dress if you go to a dinner at a country club. Do you know how to do that? I mean, it's a real possibility once you get through school and go to, get into corporate America. They like to have retreats, and that's where they usually like to have them. And they're usually over a weekend. So you have to bring a whole bunch of clothes. And then you bring your man. If your man don't know how to eat right at the table, he's going to embarrass you. And if he embarrasses you in front of your boss and coworkers, guess what? They're going to think you're stupid too. So see, this all plays together. You got to really think, ladies, and same with you guys. You got a girl, she got a fat ass and she's cute and all this old stuff, but does she know how to fucking act when you take her someplace? Can she carry on conversations? They aren't about anything big, but does she have like the basic rudimentary knowledge of politics and art, music, wine? Can she interact with these people about what's going on in society at the current time? Just basic shit, just basic stuff. Do you have this kind of knowledge, and can you present yourself well no matter where you are? That is key to your success. All the education, formal book learning, and SAT scores and whatever else you're going to get mean nothing if you do not know how to conduct yourself no matter what social event you're attending, no matter what crowd that you're around. You must know how to speak, how to eat, and how to dress. It's mandatory. It also, by doing that, opens up a lot of dating options for you. A lot of women clamoring about, they want to date out. Well, honey, this is all a part of it. It's not all about what you look like or who you talk. You got to be able to fit into these people's worlds. They're not going to fit into yours. So there's something to think about. Having good manners, good table manners, and being able to conduct yourself in a adult, mature, and positive way, no matter where you are, is definitely a skill set that I think every young black person going through college should have. And it can't hurt. All it can do is help you reach your goals faster and become just that much of a stronger asset to any organization that you may become a part of, as well as in your personal life. It opens up a lot of doors for you. My name is Deborah Cooper. I am the advice columnist on survivingdating.com and askheartbeat.com. We'll be back tomorrow with another video to help you improve your dating life and your dating success. Talk to you guys then. Bye-bye.